In For Honor, there are some characters that seem designed to make people salty. Today, we're going to watch some duels with the Conqueror, one of the most frustrating characters to fight in the game. Hopefully we don't get too much hate mail. Let's get started. First up, we're doing Conqueror versus Orochi, and this matchup most definitely favors the Conqueror. The Orochi does not have any bashing attacks, which means it's very difficult for him to find an opening if my defense is on point. Full block stance can't be negated by something like Storm Rush. He's got to feint that into a guard break if he wants to get anywhere with me. I don't want to sound presumptuous, but we've pretty much got the first round in the bag. A few more hits will seal the deal. Feinted a heavy attack with the full block stance. The Storm Rush not going to be canceled again, and we're going to get the flail uppercut to finish the round. So again, man, you can't keep banging your head against a brick wall with your forehead expecting it to fall down. You got to get the proper tools to do the job, and the proper tool for this particular situation is a feinted Storm Rush into a guard break. If we see that, then we're going to be in a little bit of trouble because clearly full block stance is something that I like to manipulate. Feinting a heavy attack with the shield uppercut, the Orochi going to come in and guard break us. We may have assumed that a Storm Rush was going to come from that backdash, but nothing happened with that. Unfortunately, we're on our last 3 bars of health, but one of the biggest advantages of being a heavy is that you have extra health to work with. So those first couple of punishments that come in, they don't feel like much. You know, you kind of just shrug it off and keep going. And every hit that the Orochi takes, it just feels absolutely devastating. Feinting another heavy attack with the full block stance, but the Storm Rush going to be a little bit delayed, so we exited the full block stance before it connected. He may be wise to our tricks now, trying to change up his strategy a little bit, using a not real punish there, going for, I believe it's called Riptide Strike after a successful Storm Rush. Not going to get anything from that. We've got 2 rounds to his 0. Now these are the moments where you gotta decide, am I gonna allow myself to tilt and just be frustrated, go on the forums, oh my god, Conqueror's so overpowered, his full block stance is unbeatable, or am I gonna make a change to my gameplay and attempt to beat him? We see the Storm Rush getting feinted into a guard break this time. The Orochi putting out a lot of damage early on. If only he could keep the advantage and continue this level of pressure against us. The Riptide Strike used to counter our forward dashing shield bash. That was a very big punishment. The full block stance coming out again. The Storm Rush feinted into a guard break. Folks, the Orochi is wise to our tricks. We've got to change up our game plan now if we want to walk away with a victory. You know, I've always thought of For Honor like a game of chess, only with swords and axes and hammers and all types of crazy weapons, because a lot of it boils down to what sort of strategy do you have and can you change up your strategy on the fly. So let's see how that goes in round number 4. The Storm Rush coming out, not going to get canceled into a guard break this time. The Riptide Strike being used from a relatively neutral position, and that's a pretty easy move to defend against. It can't be feinted, so once it starts, if you've got a good grasp on the timing, there's not really any danger. Now it's unfortunate that the Orochi does appear to be regressing a little bit in the way he's playing. He had us in the previous round with those deflects, and we're seeing that coming out again, using the heavy punish, and we did not respond correctly. We got a bit greedy there after the shield uppercut went for a heavy attack. May have wanted a fancy execution to end things off, but that's not going to happen. Just had to bop him after we parried his out of stamina attack. But you know what? We got the win, so we can't really complain too much about that. Diving straight into the second match, this time we're doing Conqueror versus Kensei, both reworked at the start of Season 5. It's going to be interesting to see which one has the advantage. The Kensei has a lot more tools than the Orochi, and he has access to bashes and unblockable attacks, so it's going to be much easier for the Kensei to break open my impenetrable defense, which seems to be failing me at the moment. I'm getting pecked by so many light attacks, and it is not looking good for me. The Kensei already has a huge advantage, and he's back dodging away from the out of stamina pressure that the Conqueror has. Now at this point, it's looking like it's pretty close to game over. We're in the danger zone. Any single attack will put us in the ground. Kensei getting a dodge attack. It looks like it hit the wall there, robbing him of the victory. We caught him with a guard break while he's out of stamina. Our flail gonna hit the exact same wall. All we had to do was attack from the left side or the top, and we would have avoided that absolute tragedy. Now we need to do a little bit more work to get the victory. One of the biggest weaknesses of the Conqueror is that he doesn't do a lot of damage. We baited out a dodge attack there by feinting into the full block stance. The dodge attack from the Kensei cannot be feinted. We got the flail uppercut for the first round victory. So yeah, man, the Conqueror, he's a great character. His defense is very, very strong, but he doesn't do a lot of damage. And if you're just getting repeatedly hit by shield bashes and light attacks, it's going to take him a long time to kill you. So you have ample opportunities to feel out the patterns that the Conqueror is using against you and really put the hurt on him. Kensei doing a great job of keeping his distance, which is negating a lot of the threat of my shield bashes. The dodge attack going to come out and put some hurt on us. We're down to our last 3 bars of health. We have yet to scratch the Kensei, except with a little tiny light attack. Not a lot of damage there. Using the shield bash, it created some space, and we used that space to charge up a heavy attack. That got us some damage. There were no guarantees in that, but hey, you take what you can get. I guess we'll call it a mix-up. At this point, we've closed the gap and given ourselves an advantage, putting the Kensei in the infamous danger zone. We made an attempt at parrying there, didn't bother to feint it with the full block stance, but we caught the Kensei trying to feint and follow up with a light attack. That was a bit of a read. We went into the full block stance and got the shield uppercut to finish him off. That's definitely a common maneuver for Kensei players. I do it all the time. You throw out an attack. If it connects, you throw out a heavy, feint it, follow up with a light in a different direction or the same direction. That is very risky against the Conqueror. If he knows what you're doing, it will wind up getting superior blocked, and the flail uppercut hurts like a bitch. Moving into rounds number 3, we do have match point, which is great for us, but the Kensei could still make a comeback. You never know what's going to happen in For Honor's duels. Charging up a heavy attack, the Kensei just going to use a dodge attack, and we're not going to manipulate the superior block property on our heavy attacks to defend against that. Could have also thrown out the heavy and canceled into full block stance, may have caught the dodge attack in time. And we're getting brutalized pretty badly by those dodge attacks right now. Tried to catch the Kensei slipping, but he's showing some nerves of steel, not falling for our forward dodge into guard break mix-up. Surviving the out of stamina pressure of the Conqueror relatively unscathed. And we threw out the heavy attack again. That would have been a perfect opportunity for us to feint it into a guard break, since the Kensei is getting a little bit dodge happy. So that is a very poor read on our part, making some bad decisions here. This could be a turnaround, and it would be very disappointing considering how well we did in the first 2 rounds. So let's see how this plays out, man. This could be the upset of the century, or at least the upset of today. Now, we as the viewer have a lot of power. We get to look at this and really analyze the situation, and it's clear that this Kensei is very happy with all of the dodge attacks that he's landing. If we would feint any one of these heavies into a full block stance, we would manipulate the hell out of that behavior and easily take the win. But it doesn't look like that's in the cards. We might be tilting a little bit. We're just getting repeatedly smacked with light attacks, using that shield bash into the charged heavy again, not feinting it into the full block stance. This is a huge misplay. And it's almost hard to watch. It feels like we're throwing away what would have been a pretty easy victory, or at least a victory. You know, but let's see. Let's try and send some telepathy back in time so that maybe I'll get my act together and start using that full block stance to punish the dodge attacks. Using a forward dash, not going to use a guard break, still getting caught with the dash attack. Very unfortunate. We caught the startup of one of his attacks there, using 2 light attacks as a follow-up. The unblockable coming out, getting feinted into a top light, getting bashed against the wall. We didn't connect with the wall. Our parry timings were off. We got hit. This may be game over, folks. We did bait out a dodge there, went into full block stance, didn't hold it long enough. The zone attack hit us, and then we get boinked on the head by a top light and lose the whole thing. Damn. Feels bad, man. It really does. But, you know, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. The Conqueror, he's a very powerful character. But if your defenses aren't on point, if you're not assessing the situation correctly, then you're going to end up getting destroyed. So, yeah, we tilted a little bit there, and we threw away what would have been a nice, clean victory. But what are you going to do? We're going to get right back into it next time. Hopefully we do a bit better with the Conqueror. So with all of that said, the name of the game is For Honor. The name of the channel is iBluairJgR. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Let me know how you feel about tilting in video games. What kind of victories have been ripped from your hands all because you started making some stupid mistakes and didn't change course fast enough. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.